Listen, I don't know what the Holy Spirit, I don't know what God is doing today, but I just feel the need to just really encourage you guys. I want you guys to understand something. I know you're going through a lot. I know many of you guys are fighting specific afflictions. Everyone's situation is different, but the point of the matter is we're all fighting through warfare. But I want you to know something. If you woke up today, you have air in your lungs, you are breathing, you have another day. You have another day to achieve what it is you need to achieve, despite what is going on around you. I know you're going through heartbreak. I know you feel heartbroken. I know you may have had nightmares and stuff at night. I know you have a lot of people aiming arrows at you. I know it feels like it's not fair sometimes and you're like, God, why do I have to go through this? I know having a big heart is really hard sometimes. I get it. I get it. But I want to tell you guys something. Many of you guys and many of us, say I'm going to say us. Many of us, we don't really have anybody. We don't. All we have is God. And the reason for this is because the kind of people we are. We are literally a small percentage of the population that, we're not perfect, but we want love. We want to treat people good because we want to be treated good. We want to love people because we want to be loved. Like we understand the reaping what you sow concept. We understand that, we want peace. And when you want peace, when you are someone that's after peace, you don't be doing people dirty. You don't want to hurt people because you want peace, right? So you don't go out there blocking people, sabotaging people, getting revenge. No, you want peace. And when you want peace and you realize that the people around you are disturbing your peace or they're trying to block you from receiving peace, you tend to remove yourself. Not only that, but when you are set apart and you are chosen and you have so much potential, like you have gifts and you're just ambitious, like people are not going to like you. They're not going to want to be around you. So let me ask you a question. If you were to go through something today where you need support, you need help, who can you call? Really ask yourself this question. Who can you call? If majority of you guys have at least one person you can call, congratulations. Congratulations. That's a blessing because many of us don't. We can only call on God, right? So it's a blessing to at least have one person in your life that you can call. If you say you ain't got nobody that you can call, let me ask you a question. Because you ain't got no one that you can call, what does that mean? That means that the only person that's gonna fight for your life and for you to be something great is you. You. So if you're sitting there and you're sulking and you're sad, depressed, or if you're sitting there and you're choosing not to fight, you're giving people what they want. And you're doing a disservice to yourself. You have one life. Time waits for nobody. And when God gives you breath in your lungs, and when God gives you another chance to wake up and you're realizing I'm alive, make the best out of wherever you are and what you have. And I know it's easier said than done. I know some of you guys like, Steph, you're not in my position. How dare you say that? I get it. But can I tell you something? You see, when you see a lot of videos on my channel, not all the time are they prophetic words. Sometimes it's encouragement. Why? Because I have the gift of encouragement. So sometimes it's not because God gave me prophetic words. Sometimes I'll be going through my day and I'll just remember something that I went through when I was a kid or something I went through in my adult years, early adult years. And it's something that taught me a lesson. And I'll be like, oh my gosh, this is a good lesson. This is good advice. I can teach someone, or I can motivate someone, I can help someone. Because it's not always prophetic. Sometimes it's wisdom. Because God blessed me with wisdom, encouragement. I'm also a seer. I'm also prophetic, right? And I can also hear the voice of God. So I have multiple gifts, which means that my videos will be in many areas. Now, the point of me telling you this is I noticed that I have the gift of encouragement because why? Because back in the day, sorry, someone called me. Because back in the day, I noticed even ever since I was young, when people went through things, guess what they called? Stephanie. Guess who they wanted to talk to? Stephanie. So even though I was a child that was going through abuse in a household, that was going to school and being bullied, that was going through a lot, I had people that, when they would come over, they would talk, they would open up to me about whatever they're going through in their life, right? Because they felt comfortable to do so. And even though I was young, I would give them some really solid advice. And I never understood why at such a young age I had this type of wisdom. I didn't know it was God at the time. I just knew that people just came to me for advice. So even in my early adult years and late teenage years, I was there for everybody. I was the one everybody came to when they needed help financially. Even though I was not in the best place, I would give people my last. I was the house that everybody came to when they wanted hot meals. I was the house that everybody came to when they had no family to go to and they would want to gather and be around good people. I was the one that everybody came to. I was the one taking care of people, right? And even my early adult years when people had nowhere to go, I was the home that they came to stay. I was the therapist that people would sit down and open up to and talk to, right? And you know, when I was doing all this for other people, guess what? There were times where I had, I was in minus in my bank account. There were times where I was in so much debt. There was times where all I had in my fridge was, milk and eggs and bread, and that's all I had for the kids. There was times where I didn't even know where I was gonna get formula. There was times where I didn't even know where I was gonna get diapers from. There was times where the hot water was turned off because I didn't pay the bill, and I had to boil the water to give my kids a bath. But guess what? Despite going through all that, despite being behind on my rent, despite being evicted all these times, you know, despite having to do things I'm not proud of to put food in my kids' mouth back then, despite doing all that and going through all these emotions internally, mentally, on top of that, having a mother who's doing obia on me, I was still there for people. I was still the listening ear for people. I was still the one that would take out of $200 I have in my account left, I would take out $50, $100, and give it to somebody to make sure they ate. I was that person, and I'm still that person, right? Now, the point of me saying this is, despite going through all this, a lot of times people never knew. You know why? Because there was something that no matter how much obia my mom did to me, no matter how much bullying I went through, no matter how much stress I went through, no matter how broke I was, no matter how much anxiety, depression I went through, I always was smiling. Ask everybody that knows me. Well, you guys probably won't be able to ask them, but you could literally ask in the comment section. Maybe somebody from my past will comment. But those that know me always knew that I had a smile on my face. I always was had a smile on my face. I always was still very witty, still very outgoing. Nobody would have known that I was going through things because I always had a smile on my face. I was always positive. I always kept a positive mindset. And all this was implemented in me, and it's almost like I was trained to be this way because of all the stuff I went through as a kid. I always tried to find solitude. I always tried to find joy in the little things to forget what I'm going through. And I always found the best out of every situation, like literally. And the little things made me happy, you know? And I've been like that since I was a little girl because I went through so much to the point where I found ways to block everything out. And then I noticed that that trait that I have carried on into my adult years. But can I tell you something? It actually helps me because that's what actually helps me fight through the warfare as well. Of course, God's covering me and protecting me, but it's almost like God was training me from since I was young to learn how to block out the external things and to focus on having gratitude for the little things that I have. And that's what helps me get through the days. Now, the point of me telling you this is I know everyone's situation is different, and I know many of you guys are going through a lot right now. But I want to just explain to you that the key in all of this is to not give up. And the key in all of this is to make the best out of what you have right now. Okay? Try to make the best out of whatever you're going through right now. Right? And I know sometimes people say, well, Stephanie, how do I make the best out of being attacked or gang stalked or going through witchcraft and all that? I made the best out of my situation after going through this for so many years, right? But I want to also mention something that God shared with me. And He showed me some faces of people. There are some people that are from my country, okay, that are from Jamaica. One of them being Spice, one of them being, another one being Shansia, right? I don't know if you guys know them, but the Lord showed me their faces a bunch of times, and I didn't understand why He was showing it to me. And then He showed me people were also doing black magic on them. And when I look at them, I would never tell that people were doing Obi and black magic on them. Why is that? Because they don't even look like they're going through anything, but they were. You get what I'm saying? So when God showed me that, He let me know that look, even people who are, who are maybe not be on may not be on the same path as you, they get it. People do things to them too. So God had to show me that to let me know that I'm not the only one that this happens to, and it also happens to people who are also not even on the same path I'm on. Like that opened my eyes a lot. And I'm sharing this to you guys to let you know that it's definitely a common thing. Anytime someone sees you successful or they see that you're moving up in life, this is their go-to. This is their go-to. It's to try to slow you down, it's to try to block you. But the key is that you have to keep going and you cannot give up. That's the key. Once you give up, you're surrendering and you're giving them what they want. So I'm here to tell you to get up, get a book out, start writing a list of things that you want to do, that you need to work on. Write also the obstacles you're facing right now and write how you're going to get through these things. Sometimes it's good to look at things on paper and not just always think about it in your brain, because when you think about it, you can only think about one thing at a time. And if you start thinking about everything back to back, you're going to get anxiety and get overwhelmed. When you actually look at it on a piece of paper, it's actually organized and you have a way to, like, okay, this is what I want to do. What obstacle is blocking me from doing this? Okay, this is the obstacle. How can I get through this? Okay, when you write things down on paper, it's almost easier to really just comprehend what it is that you need and what you're going through and how you're going to get through. It's easier to focus on how you're going to resolve this issue. It's easier to see past the obstacle when you write it down. And it's almost like you're training your brain, you're training yourself to see things from a different perspective. And again, find the beauty of everything, find the positivity in everything. There's good and there's evil. And you have to understand that when you are moving up in life, there's going to be certain people, even people close to you, that are not going to want to see you elevate, that are not going to want to see you succeed, because it's a reflection of where they are in their life. And this is not your fault. This is something they have to work on. But we have no control over whether someone chooses to do good or evil. We have no control over that. All we can do is pray that they change. But do not sabotage yourself and do not limit yourself and not use your gifts, not use your gifts, not operate through your gifts, not work on the things you need to work on because someone's trying to pull you down. If anything, show them and show yourself, most importantly, that you're not going to let anything stop you. Period. Keep going. They try to block you because they're threatened by you. You know what I'm saying? Do you know how many people see my platform and they look for things to nitpick? And They will look for anything, they will make up things to nitpick. And I notice that the very people that usually do this are the ones that are trying to build their own platform and it doesn't work out for them. Why does it not work out for them? Because look at their heart. If they don't see any progression on their platform, what do? They go and they try to tear it on someone else who's doing good. And then they wonder why they're stuck. They wonder why they're not able to progress on their platform. This is why. But because God knows the mindset of these people, God knows what they're going to do. God is not going to bless them and allow them to prosper and grow because of what they're doing. So the point of me saying that is when you're doing something in life, do not stop because someone else has an opinion about you or because someone else wants to nitpick or someone else wants to do black magic on you or whatever the situation is. Do not stop because someone else is uncomfortable that you're moving ahead or that you're doing good. Keep going. It's your life. If anything was to happen today and you need help, you need advice, you need to call someone, you can't pick up the phone and call these people that are trying to block you. You cannot pick up the phone and these people that are trying to stop you, you can never pick up the phone and call them to help you. You can't. Because if you pick up the phone and say, hey, I'm going through this, they'll be the first ones to laugh in your face because that's what they wanted. So if you know that if something was to happen, you have no one you can pick up the phone and call, then you need to go harder. You need to go harder. And you can't care what people say or think. The only opinion that should matter is God. That's it. If God tells you to start a YouTube channel, start the YouTube channel. If God tells you start a TikTok, start the TikTok. If God tells you to post on social media, start posting. If God tells you to go back to school, go back to school. If God tells you to get into real estate, get into real estate. If God tells you to do in-home babysitting, do in-home babysitting. God's instructions are far more important than man's opinion. Because when a person sees that you are following God and God is and whatever God told you to do is working out for you and it's not working out for them because they're not listening to God, they're going to try to pull you down. And you cannot let someone who's willing to block their own blessings pull you down. So you have to keep going no matter what people say and what they think and what they do. When God showed me those artists that were people were doing Obi on them, I'm like, man, you would never tell because this person's on stage. They have so much energy. They're singing, they're moving around. And I'm just like, whoa, because why they didn't let people stop them? They're not going to give up. They're going to keep going. I was like, wow. And I was honored that he even showed me that. And they're not the only ones. You cannot let nobody stop you. You cannot let people's opinions stop you when people think stop you. Because a lot of people that are telling you not to do something or trying to make you feel discouraged for doing something, they're the very ones who have no problem switching positions with you if it was a possibility. That's how you know. So you gotta go hard for you. So get into your ear, get into your head, and start making you question things about your life. Use your gifts in whatever area that is. The key is to not give up. And make sure you're doing everything with an upright motive, good heart, good intentions, good mind, God approved. The more you keep going despite what they're trying to do to you, the more you're going to prosper, the more you're going to fight through it, the stronger you're going to become, and the greater you're going to be. These people are very low vibrational. They're demonic influenced people. That's why they try to do the things that they try to do to you to slow you down, to pull you down. That's why a lot of times, if you're online, they have to come with faceless accounts to try to put you down. They're unhappy, they're miserable, they're depressed. So they want to see you down, miserable, depressed. If you have a platform, use it. If God bless you with a platform, use it. Whatever opportunity God blessed you with, don't let it go to waste. Use it. If you got accepted in school, go. If you got a job opportunity, go. If you prayed for a job, you got the job, and coworkers are picking on you, you want to leave, stay. If God tells you to stay, stay and fight through that. Don't let them win. Of course, if God tells you to go, then go. But if He didn't tell you to go, fight. People don't go hard to get rid of you for no reason. You have to understand there's something there. There's something going on in your life. Let me keep it 100 real with you. 100% real with you. I asked God why my mom's still doing the obia on me, even though she's been served and courts coming up, trials coming up. Why is she still going? I obviously know it's because of jealousy, but the Lord told me she had a vision. Because my mom has gifts, but she's utilizing it in a negative way. She's allowing the devil to use her. So the Lord told my mom had a vision, and my mom saw that He was going to bless me. And it broke her heart when she saw that. Not, it didn't make her proud to see her daughter being blessed. It didn't make her feel happy that her daughter being blessed. It broke her heart to see me being blessed. Why? Because she hates me and doesn't want nothing good for me. And I was like, God, why would that break her heart? But I was like, why am I even asking God this question? I already know the answer. My mom never wanted anything good for me. Right? So the Lord showed me that it broke her heart because what He's giving me in my life is everything she wants. But instead of being proud of me and happy for me, she's going harder with the obia, even though she's already going to court. She's already facing charges and jail time. She doesn't care because she doesn't want me to have it. And that's what I mean when I say you cannot let people that have this type of mindset or mentality stop you. Keep going. Because God is not a man that He shall lie. When God says something's going to happen, it's going to happen, no matter what type of obstacle you're facing. But faith without works is dead. You also have to put in the work. Nothing in this life comes easy. God had to show me those artists to let me know that even they get attacked, but they keep going. Nothing in life comes easy. Everything you want in life, you're going to have to fight because the enemy is going to try to suppress you and oppress you. But God is greater and God will give you the strength. God will give you the strength. But are you willing to fight? Are you willing to go through the obstacles to strengthen you? Because we have to experience certain things for us to be strengthened. For me to hear God in the spirit, I had to go through trials and tribulations. I had to go through a period of only hearing bad stuff and being tormented in my sleep from the enemy. For me to finally only hear God and not have to worry or not be affected when negativity comes in. It took a long time. And why? Because I endured it and went through it and I fought through it. I went through the purification period. And that's with anything in life that you do. You go to school, you're going to probably have a bunch of people that don't like you, coworkers, teachers, wherever you are, workplace. You're going to have to fight through that. You move into a neighborhood, something's going on, you're going to have to fight through that. Nothing comes easy in life. But once you get it, it comes with no sorrow. Once you get your hands on that blessing, you're blessed. But there's going to always be someone that the enemy is going to try to use. That's why we have to be wise and innocent as doves. So keep going no matter what. Keep going. Make the best out of what you can. Okay? I think his name is Kai Sinet. He said all he had was a camera and a dream. And look where he is today. And him and his mom is a prayer warrior, and they give thanks to Jesus all the time. Thank God he has a supportive family, supportive mother. Thank God. But that's what I mean when I say some of us, we're going to have to go harder. And the key is to not give up. Keep going. If I can do this, believe you can do it too. Just block out all outside noise. That's exactly what I've been doing for the last week now. I'm like, what did I used to do when I was younger to where I got through every obstacle that I'm not doing now? And God had to remind me that I was blocking out everything that was going on externally. All the abuse, all the bullying and the emotional abuse, like I blocked it all out. And I when I would be outside with my friends or like go somewhere, like people would never tell that I was going through all that because I would block it out. And that's exactly what I'm about to do. And that's what I'm telling you to do. Fight. The birthright's already yours. The blessing's already yours. It's just getting to it. God is guiding your steps, but you have to also get up and take a step closer to where you need to be. Okay? I love you guys.